so many friends as a dad.
Yeah, that happens.
I'm chatting to like 20 different dads and moms.
When I went out with the guys, I was like, I'm out.
And I'm going through this new experience that you can voice it, but no one really understands it.
You can take off the hat of being dad and constantly thinking and things like that, basically.
Found myself taking off that too much.
Right.
This is the show where we dive into everything fatherhood.
Yeah. Each episode we pick a random card with questions on it about the journey of being a dad. All right. I feel like this is nice and easy, man. No, it's not actually. And we try our best to answer those questions and share our stories.
I couldn't fail this young man. He didn't ask to be here.
Yeah. Just enjoy the show because it's going to be alright. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe.
And let's see what today's episode brings. Just want to say thank you so much for jumping on today's episode. I'll start us off. My name is Percelle Ascott. My daughter is Zuri and she's 11 months old.
I'm Ricardo Mcleary-Campbell. I've got 3 children. One is 10, one is 6, one is 3, and there's Neron, Kyoko, and Orion.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, good afternoon to you guys. My name's Alex Hill and I've got 3 children too. I've got a 2-year-old boy and I've got twins that are 7 weeks, a boy and a girl.
Yeah. Congratulations, man.
Yeah, man. Yes, good.
They 7 weeks?
7 weeks.
Wow. Wow, I'm looking at your eyes.
Hey, look at him.
We'll get into it, don't worry.
Yeah, good afternoon, guys. My name's Sedinam, Acolatse, but everyone calls me SJ. I've got 1 child, 19 months old boy. Yeah, man.
Yes. Okay.
Good.
All right. So how this works, lads, is that we each got cards. We're gonna take it in turns to pick up a card, read out the question, and then we'll give it our best to answer it. Reach, do you wanna go first and do the honors today?
This card's a bit weighted.
Oh, is it too weighted?
Yeah, you wait. Let's just wait for this one real quick.
All right. If that sense, you're not.
He said his cards weighted. How has becoming a dad impacted your friendships and social life? Can you share a moment when you realised those relationships were changing? I think the best way for me to start answering this question is kind of describing who I am as a person prior having Hayden.
It'll be good to give context to SJ.
Yeah, so the reason, like the SEDI, corporate world, regional manager, vehicle solutions company, Monday to Friday. But as soon as we get to Friday 1800, we're talking SJ now. Yeah, the man, like I like to be. Like, I just want everyone around me to have a good time. I find myself in the middle of the dance floor, just catching a vibe all the time. Always wanting to go out. To be honest, I don't know why, but it's just me. It was just me. But as soon as Caden came around, I did chill off for a bit. But then I started to realise I probably was using it to mask the difficulties of being a father. And it kind of put a bit of pressure on the other side as well, on my partner's side as well, 100%.
We're chilling off, sorry, just to...
Not to talk up your experience. Is it a case of like, see the pressure, like, I don't know, for me, the pressure, like when I did actually go out with you guys, I can't lie, it's the first time I was so excited to like go out because I was like, it's a bit of freedom and things like that, right? But it's almost like a form of escapism a little bit, right? Because you can take off the hat of being dad and constantly thinking and things like that, basically. But now you can kind of just it's exactly that. It's exactly it. Take off the hat, but I found myself taking off that too much, right?
And it put a lot of pressure on my partner. But when I'm taking off the hat and going out enjoying myself, my friendships are still balanced.
Okay.
But the moment I started doing the right thing and being indoors and being that supportive figure, being a father, started to hear, "Oh, we don't see you anymore. You're not supposed to be seeing me." That's the kind of thing I started to see and started to feel. But it didn't come from those that are already fathers. It comes from those that haven't even entered this realm of life yet. So at first I came a bit defensive. Like what? You're not my real dog. You're not my friend or whatever. But then I realized your time is coming. If you're called to that in your life as well. Friendship's very secure though. I think my circle is very, very secure, very understanding, to be fair though. So in terms of the friendship side of anything being broken off or anything like that, I can't say I've had any drastic major changes in that respect. If anything, they probably told me to chillax. You know, you're not that SJ. You know, it's SJ 2.0. You know what I mean? So yeah, man.
I can just to kind of touch in there on my perspective of things, like when it comes to friendships and things changing. I feel for me, it's always that thing. I don't know if you guys like. I think you probably was, because obviously I know your story, but like being the first in the friendship circle to have a child.
Okay, yeah.
I think that there comes it's difficult for the guys who aren't dads, like you mentioned, because I think, like, honestly, becoming a dad is giving me, like, I say it to everyone I speak to, like, I just feel like I'm like reborn again.
Oh yeah.
Because everything changes. Everything has changed for me.
Yeah.
Because just my perspective on life, my intentions, everything has completely changed. And like, I think it's hard for someone to understand what that is.
Yeah.
What it feels like.
Yeah.
And I've had the same kind of thing as you, where sometimes you get the odd people like who just might not understand that if I've got to cancel plans because, you know, my partner's exhausted, or Zuri's like, you know, I just need to be home right now. I have to do what's right for my family, you know. And I have to say, in fact, whenever I've said it, like with our friends, because we've got a similar friendship group and stuff, like Sedi's always the first person to be like family first.
Yeah.
Like, I mean that on a, it's such a nice thing, because like for you, like what you do for me, sorry, in that respect, is like you don't create pressure for me.
Yeah.
And I think that's the one thing I do. Like it's like it's so hard because you have to like juggle the different hats between like you're a dad, but then you're also a son. You might be a friend. You might be a brother, a cousin. All these kind of things, right? And then we also got jobs as well, isn't it? So I'm also an employer in that sense, like trying to run a company. So it's so hard to juggle all these relationships, because now this thing of being a dad is my most important role right now.
Yeah.
And everything comes second to that. And I feel like for me, I would probably say I haven't had direct conversations, but I would say that I know that some people have. I'm not talking to some people as much as I was maybe beforehand, but that's because circumstances change. And also I just feel like over life, the kind of the journey of life anyway, as we all kind of grow up and get older, sometimes, as they say, your circle gets smaller and things like that, right? But also your circumstances, you create new friends within those new circumstances as well, because you grow closer to people who can relate to you basically. So I'm no stranger to like accepting the change. Like I'm acceptance of like, I now have new friends or new dads, you know, who I can just talk to. And in fact, one thing to finish off what I'm saying is like my cousin, my cousin Lawrence, he has a son who's 6 weeks older than my daughter, and mine and his relationship, we were close as kids. We were like, you know, brothers in fact, but we are like so close right now. So close. And it's so magical how like this experience of fatherhood has like just brought us so close, because any problem that he might be experiencing, or if he's feeling a certain way or he's feeling low, just that vulnerability, we both can just be so open to just share. I can call him up every time. I vent to him, in fact, you know. And that's something I've learned, especially when it comes to like other problems in life, and maybe it's the wrong way to do things. Sometimes I shield things from my partner. It might be, say, even sometimes like financially, it might be work related, but like I've chosen like these are the people I need to vent to. Yeah. Because as a dad, it's important for me to like just get that pressure off, man. Because it's the beginning days for me was tough. Like it was hard. Like postpartum, I was struggling with like how do I release this pressure? And in fact,
we spoke about this.
We spoke about this. And in fact, it was. That's when I've realized for myself, and I relate to you now in that sense, is that when I went out with the guys, I was like, I'm out. And I'm like, I'm staying till, and then like, one party, or I remember it was actually, Yara was out at the same time, which made me feel so much better, you know, and I tried to time it that way, where she's going out, okay, cool, I'll go out. But one evening I was like, I was out late, and I don't know, man, there was a part of me that was like, I need to be home. Like, this is like, I'm almost trying to hold on to the old Percy days, the single Percy days. And that's not the right environment for where I want to be. And it's just maybe me as a character. I succumb to, and it's not even just like I'm talking about even spending money. You know what I mean? I'm not talking about those other pressures in terms of I'm in a club and people might know my face, or a girl might try a little conversation. Cool, that's all there. But for me, it's just the money side of things. And then also when I finish the club, I got to go back home and I got to wake up at a certain time because
that's so underrated. You know,
this
so
kind
underrated.
of like So for me, I can't be out so much with the friends that want to do that as much, because it just doesn't connect to where I am right now in my life. Like I'm now, if it's a little house thing, cool, I'm gonna be there, we're gonna have some dinner, you know what I'm saying? Like that's my kind of motives now, Don't get me wrong, like on the subject of going out, with my wifey now, like we have the best nights together, and I think that's what's amazing, is that we get to just share that thing there. Even the last night out we were both gassed because grandma was looking after Zuri, and we were just excited of the amount of hours we were going to sleep. We were like, oh my God, wait, what? We're going to have 8 hours sleep, no distractions. Boy, was I wrong. I got back and I woke up early to go pick up Zuri early anyway, because I just was in that, we go and help grandma. But yeah, that's what I'd say for me, man. What would you guys say, Alex and Reeks?
Yeah, I was one of
changes. Yeah, you was the
fathers. I had my child when I was 21.
Yeah.
Which is early, but you're mature enough to partially. But a lot of my friends hadn't experienced it. So I wouldn't say my friendship changed. I'm a workaholic, man. Let's just put it confess. I'm a workaholic, and I loved working, but there was a balance that came with that, and there was a lot of times where we was building a business at that time. I was part of you building a business.
You know what I was gonna say, because I wanted to obviously add to what you're about to say, but I feel now as a dad, I feel guilty looking back at all those years. No, I do, because we didn't have that insight obviously to what you was going through, but also our expectations of you was at a certain place. So if we arranged to do a shoot or whatever and you were late or you couldn't be there, I would never understand why with a child. Does that make sense? I feel guilty because now going through it now, of course, I get what you were going through. You know what I mean? I know now obviously we'll be young and there's context to it, right? But I guess I kind of just have to hail you up because you took on that pressure or maybe that expectation from us, and you still was able to deliver and perform.
I was gonna say you must have been able to deliver because you're sitting there right now.
No, I appreciate it. Like a lot of my friends were very ambitious. A lot of them were working. I wasn't really in the party crowd too much, and I'm not really a big partier. When I go out, I went out. But it wasn't often. But I find a lot of the times, there was times, for example, where you, Jav, D, everyone, you guys are going through a big stage of growth, and Javan's just Javan, a good friend and business partner to you, and so much more. They'll be like, Reeks, come across, and especially when I'm going through difficulties with my partner at times, and I'm going through this new experience that you can voice it, but no one really understands it. But I never really spoke about it as much because, I didn't really speak about it, if I'm honest. I had my mum or other support systems maybe, but I'm like, I want to go. And it's not even, they might just be going to train at the park and doing pull-ups. Yeah. But I have to be here. And it was a weird thing for me. I wouldn't say that I lost friends necessarily. I feel like my relationships developed very differently. And in them young years where everyone's finding themselves partying, enjoying, growing as men, I'm now balancing my partner's feelings and what she's going through. I'm now balancing my own new feelings, my child's, and then trying to then also, I'm very ambitious. So it was a big juggle. So my relationship with my friends, and I didn't say it got less, but I didn't go out much anyway. So people don't even really invite me out. Eventually people will just not call me. And sometimes I want to go, or sometimes I just want to decline. You know what I mean? Just say, no, I can't. I'm like, bro, that night looked lit. Even though I wasn't going to go, I wish I was invited, you know what I mean? But it didn't really change. I don't think it changed. Because I kind of continued. My relationship suffered quite a bit, I would say, me staying ambitious, but I always kept my head screwed on because as a man looking forward, I'm like, where I'm at right now, I don't have the resources to handle the future of the situation. So I had to keep on going. And sometimes that looked different, because there'll be sometimes when the man them are calling me like, Reeks, was trying to set up a camera today, and my missus like, you're not at work today, you're with us. Why are you answering the phone? Like, you might as well be there. And I'm trying to balance that. But I just always knew that even now, still got a lot of growing and positions to climb, but that same sacrifice is the provision that I can now provide for my children now.
Yeah.
So it was never against them. It was never against my friends. It's just me navigating as a man, like what's the best path to kind of balance both, you know? But it was a strain on both sides, I guess, friendship and partnership, because you're trying to balance the two, you know what I mean? And also it doesn't always mean that everyone's expectations are realistic, partner or friend. So it's just like you have to navigate that the best you can and communicate through that.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I have to say, my answer's a bit different. Like, I've had a very positive increase to my relationship since becoming a father.
Amazing.
It's been incredible. Like, to start with, my family, I would say I was the black sheep of the family. Is that what they say? But
Just
I didn't have a lot to do with my mum for maybe coming up to 15 years, something crazy like that. I had aunties I hadn't spoke to in years, cousins, all this family, just, they were there for me when I became a father for the first time. It was 2 years ago, and such a positive impact on my relationships, because actually that support network, they've been through it, a lot of them. I've got cousins who are going through it now, and for me it was like a real positive experience, that side of the family reconnecting with me. Secondly, I've made so many friends as a dad.
yeah, that happens.
Yeah.
I walk down my road to the nursery in the morning.
Yeah.
I'm chatting to like 20 different dads and mums. I know their cats' names. Like, serious. This is like this is another level. People I would just walk past in the street before.
Yeah.
And now we've got this common bond. And I'm just chatting with this one, that one, all the nursery people. It's amazing. Even the antenatal group, fathers and mothers, we'll meet up, have a drink here and there, do baby things, maybe go soft play. Like, for me, relationship wise, this has been like a great experience.
So I relate to that so much, man. Like, just like I got a local cafe I go to every morning with my daughter, and I take her to the park, and like they know my regular drink I have every day. Like, like my food, everything. They like, even for Zuri, like they just there. Like, it's so beautiful in terms of like just this new picture that I'm in. And like you said, you might see another dad, and just that kind of unspoken respect, or that bond. That,
and see, it's the for me it's the black dads, walking my son or going to the park and stuff like that, and just seeing another black dad, black father, and he's like, it's not even, before we see someone, it's the well gone, like, this one is, wow, man, your son's cute, man. This is Doddy. I probably would have never spoken to him in my life, and he just like, man. So I just wanted to add to that. Go on.
I have to say, SJ, like the black dad thing, like I think there's a lot of negative connotation associated, but it's absolute like not what I've experienced so far. My next door neighbor, he is a good role model for me. He is a father who is with his wife and his kids. They're like 20, 30 something now, and he's been through all that. And then I go and see other black dads out in the street, in the community.
So true, man.
And we're all there.
I don't know where it's come from. It's probably from our own community, from being honest, but not what I've seen or what I've experienced, man. It's absolutely true.
There's a renaissance of black dads. I don't know. I can't speak as a general, because I know there's a narrative that's been pushed about black dads. So I don't know the stats. I'm going to be real with you.
Yeah.
But in terms of us having these conversations and all the black fathers in my generation, whatever's gone on before, we're all trying to better it.
Yeah.
And I don't know many dads.
I feel like as well, like, you're right. And there's obviously trying to create more open spaces for us to talk and stuff. But also, like, I don't know, man. Like, I think because of that stigma, and it's obviously been through like media and movies, all this kind of stuff, right? But like, I feel like if there is a dad that is kind of like, even in my circle, that I would be like, if someone was struggling, like, I'll be there to support them.
Yes.
You know what I'm trying to say?
Yes.
Like, it's that kind of energy to it as well. Like,
that's an important point. And to piggyback, just to bounce with you. I feel like, just to touch on the black father thing shortly, we have to think of context. Like, there's the Windrush generation. There's a lot of, like, in terms of African counterparts, Nigerian, Ghanaian, and everywhere else, that are coming over and they're navigating a Western society where they're not there. 100%. Their support systems back in their country and stuff like that. So it's very hard. Like, now we've got some roots now, and we're second generation, third generation, and even our parents or our grandparents and etc. have now found roots here. And there is a support system, then now we can navigate. Because honestly, being a dad or being a mother, without that support system, like it takes a village. It takes a village.
But then you can go into things like education that we've obviously had, and then that can help the financial conversations to it. Because a lot of our dads or grandparents or whatever like would have had to work certain jobs that wouldn't have been high earning, income households. So then that. Those family dynamics would obviously be impacted due to all of these kind of environmental points that you're making, basically.
And the breakdown of the family. Once the provision can't be made, and I hate to go here. I don't want to go here too much, but just during slavery, there's a big topic we talk about. Not to go too much on it because we've been doing so much great things since then. It's the same thing. Imagine that dynamic where black women are with their black men. And there's a level that they can't protect them, they can't provide, and a lot of them did find it safer in the house. It's the whole thing. Once provision and that root is taken away, the family's separated, and there's isolation to it, then there becomes almost attack between each other. Men and women, and then there's a separation, and we've gone through generations of that. So I feel like it's a really positive and new leaf that we are going through right now.
100%.
Absolutely.
But then also, just to touch on that quickly. Diversity, man. When I go to the school, my kids are in like my two eldest are in quite a middle class, white, I would say predominantly white school in East Dulwich. That they're good there, but then like you still have common ground now with other dads as well. So they might not be black, but then
not for real.
Now you guys have a talking point, a conversation
Absolutely.
where your lives may be so much different, but now you're both fathers and navigating that. Then you can have conversations with people that you might not. Regularly having conversations with, I've got some dads that I'm not gonna shout out his name right now, but he's amazing. My eldest son's his best friend's a white guy called Owen, and his dad, like, Dan's like 50 plus. He does like marathons every week, like beat me in the dad's father's race. But like it's a whole different. Like, I don't even like right now. I like gym. You know what I mean? So it's like just being open to these things and learning from people. Just been amazing. So
man.
I think having that around you as well is incredible. Like, my concern with being a dad was I didn't know many other fathers at all. So I'd met this antenatal group. They're all your sort of typical white middle. In their 30s, got money, all this kind of thing. And then when I was choosing a nursery, I went and chose it on the food they were serving. So I looked at the menu and it was like jerk chicken.
Funny you said that.
What
did I tell you yesterday? I told you this yesterday. While we were watching the fight, I told you this yesterday. All right then. So I was watching the fight with P. We're just talking about, how his little man and everything like that. We're talking about like the lads in nurseries and all of that, and I just explained, man, me and my partner, we decided off the food. They were selling jollof rice. Man. Forget about the price, it was the food, man.
100%. And by having my son in that nursery, he is getting to see his roots more as well. Like we're Jamaican, and my mom is not very local. She's in Jamaica actually most of the time, and him being around other Jamaican kids, getting to see Independence Day celebrated at his nursery, getting to taste his food every day, coming home with a flag on his face. These kind of things are
just important, man. It's so important.
You can't buy these things.
100%. Should we hit the next question? Alex, I feel it's card.
So I'll carry this. So, what's a small everyday moment as a father that feels deeply significant to you, even if it seems ordinary?
Wow.
So, I mean, for me, it goes back to the nursery. Picking up my son from nursery, I am buzzing. Like, dropping him off is something else, but picking him up, seeing his face when he hasn't seen me for 9-10 hours, and he's just got all this excitement towards me. He's jumping into my arms,
Yeah.
and it just feels like, oh my gosh, somebody actually misses me. It's like every day it melts my heart. Literally.
Yeah, no, just even on that, like just that pure love. You know that
bro.
for me, I don't know about you guys, right? But like my daughter, it didn't really kick in terms of that, like how can I describe it? Unconditional love until
Yes.
say 6-7 months
Yes.
old,
That's
and
true.
I was
Yeah.
waiting for it. And even at the hospital, I cried when she was born. I cried, and obviously I loved my daughter. Like there's no doubt about that. But I'm talking about that deep, like just unimaginable love where you're just, that's my little like you are attached. You know, you're just.
Yeah.
I look at you and you just make me proud. Like
I'm surprised you can even describe it, bro.
I can't. I'm trying.
Yeah.
But just on that note, like I can't wait for that. I'm obviously further behind in terms of like my daughter's younger, so she's not at nursery yet. But I'm looking forward to those days where I can just even where she can just walk and just look at me and say, "Daddy," like. That would just make my whole world. But even now, like the small things that she does, and I pick up on her little cues, and I know when she wants me, you know, and it's magical. Like even recently, what changed was bedtime. For a little bit, a period of time, I'll try and put her down to sleep and stuff. And we made a mistake that she was was breastfeeding, so she was falling asleep on the boob, right? And it was probably a big mistake for us to make because that was it. She was just reliant on mum to always make her fall asleep.
Yeah.
So I'm there downstairs, like watching football. I see, like, you know, Yara just tired, exhausted, just trying to get Zuri down. Eventually, I'm like, nah, like I need to try and figure out a way to just, you know, like get back that kind of control, or let me like take ownership of this element. And then there was a moment where I was like, nope, I don't care. Like Zuri's all kind of crying. I'm holding her. I'm like, nope, like I'm gonna get her there. She's gonna, you know, I'm gonna make sure I can fulfill this, right? And then eventually, she just like she was crying, and then she just like chills on my shoulder, and it was like that moment was so beautiful. And then that was it, bro. Every time, every bedtime. Again, it's probably not the right thing to do from the books, as they say, for sleep training. But I don't care. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Every time after bath time, put it on my chest or whatever it is. I might even sing as well now, right? But she just puts her head on my chest and just allows me. She trusts me. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
She trusts me to go to sleep. And that for me, man, is one of the best feelings I've ever had, man.
Sick, man.
Yeah, that in terms of answering that question.
Yeah.
What feels ordinary
think,
is but
with me, in order to get to that precise time, I remember when Caden was first born, it was very traumatic, bro. Very traumatic. He wasn't breathing. He came out not breathing, so he had to go straight into ICU. His mum was a C-section. They chopped too much. Bear in mind, the doctor said 99.9% of my surgeries go perfect. It was a 0.01. You can't make it up, man. But so we didn't, as a father, when you get that skin to skin.
Yeah.
I didn't get that for a good, I think it was like 3-4 days.
oh wow.
So for that disconnect between me and my son, it took me ages, man. It took me ages. But then there was a moment when I came home from work, and he came running through the front room to the doorway, and just, I've never seen him jump. He just jumped. That there was like, all right, this is the moment I'm looking forward to every single day when I come home.
Wow, man.
To now, between 6:30 to 7:30, he's literally just waiting at the front door, just like, he's coming. Boom, as soon as he hears the key, he's there, and he jumps every single day, without fail, man.
We were talking about this on a previous episode, like just how Sace was talking about it, isn't it? Just in terms of like, kids, all they need is just your love and your presence, right? Because I was saying earlier in a previous pod, like I feel like I've been failing a little bit, you know, because I don't have the big yard, I don't have the the money in her savings account the way I want it to be, all this kind of stuff. Like I'm not where I want to be myself, and I feel like I can see my potential, and I don't feel like I'm achieving that potential, right? And now it means more because it's for my daughter.
Yeah.
And so every day when I'm a little bit lazy, every day when I procrastinate a little bit more, bro, it knocks my confidence, because I'm like, P, man, like, come on, like, you're better than this. You need to do more, all this kind of stuff, right? But Sace really hit me with that point, just saying like, what what our children need from us, like especially the early days, especially when they're children. They just need that, and it's so beautiful to hear your story because like that consistency. He knows without fail, like you know, my dad's gonna show up. He's gonna open that door, and I can run and give him a hug.
That's it.
Like, I don't know, man, but that just speaks volumes to me, just in terms of like what that's gonna do for him, like when he's older.
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say?
I think you're right, because I've been feeling, of late, 100% is like I've been putting a lot of pressure on myself.
Yeah.
I've got to get it right.
Yeah.
I've got to get it right.
Yeah.
I'm on borrowed time. Everyone's just that's how I say it. Everyone's on borrowed time. I've got to get it right, and I just got to a point and I was like, you know what? I just stick with my faith, man. I'm not in control of this. You know, I put God first.
Yeah.
God's in control.
Yeah.
And whatever he wants to be will be. So I haven't got the big house. Yeah, I ain't got all the money in the world. But I know I've got the most stuff for my son, and that alone is all that's needed.
That's all you need.
That's it.
That's all you need.
It's important. I feel like, I think some of the best moments have varied for me throughout the years. And what you're saying is so important. Just to touch on that before I even go into them, is because the flip side, which we didn't even talk about last time, was once I used to say it to one of my kids' partner, like my partner, my ex-partner, and I used to say to her, she was a good mother from the fact that she was worrying about how she's coming across to her kids. But I was just like to her, because I had to learn this lesson, that every time you're in your head and you're in that moment, you're missing that presence with them. And that's the flip side, that you don't even realize. During you're pressuring yourself like that, they're getting not the best of you. Yeah. And I remember like, she was in a new situation, and we can disagree to, you know what I mean? But I've been there, but she's like, look how much happier he is in this new space, and etc. And I was just like, he's happier because you're happier.
Yes.
He feels that your children are so sensitive to how you feel. So when you're feeling like a failure sometimes, they're picking up on that, and they want to spend 100%. That presence in that moment. And the reason why I felt that is because on the flip side of this question, I've been there when I didn't get to see my kids every day. My situation is that I don't live with my kids anymore, and I have to take them at certain times. And it was so tough for me, and I was going through heartbreak at one point. I was going through all these failure thinking and feelings of failure, as well as feeling like I lost my family as well, on top of the weight of what you're feeling. So I was just like, sometimes I was so in my head when the kids were with me, I was barely coping myself, and they were feeling it, and their energy, it was just all nuts for them. And now every time I have my children, I really almost not meditate, but I shut off work. Everyone knows pretty much now, unless you've booked me and I have to make arrangements for work, that's their time, and I make sure that my mind's as cleansed as possible, and that is for me to enjoy with them. Wherever the world, my life, me going mad, that's reserved for them, and then I can feel like I'm a failure on Monday. But
the methodology behind it works. It makes sense.
But in terms of the most beautiful moment, let's touch on that, is them same moments, man. When you come from nursery, and he's like, Dad, I was like, Dad, what are you doing here? And I come, whatever, my youngest or my eldest is kind of developed with them, but when they see me, like, I know my eldest son, he would live with me today if he could, you know what I mean? I'm working on it. But yeah, that's that feeling of like, you're their hero for now. You know what I'm saying? Especially boys. I'm not saying your daughter, you're their first love. So it's like, I'll have the pleasure to have both. And it's like that feeling of like, yeah, they're my G's, man. When I'm there with them, they're my best friends. Like, when I'm with them, I'm like, yo, you know, you guys are my best friends. You know what I mean? I'm not from your dad. I just enjoy the time with you. Like, what are we doing? You know what I mean? So that's them moments are just like amazing. When I sit there and I see all three of them and developing, I'm just like, you know what? I don't have everything right now, and I will get it.
Yeah, we'll get it. Man.
Yeah, but at the same time, you guys are here, you're happy, you're breathing, and you're enjoying.
Sorry, just on that, the G. You know how great I feel when I'm walking with my daughter, like in the carrier, and she's just there,
buzzing.
I feel amazing.
Entrance time.
Oh my God.
Entrance time.
Everywhere we go.
Yeah, bro.
So cute.
Bro. Yeah, bro. Girls are talking about pretty privilege. What? Father privilege. Man. Father privilege. I make sure he's facing the world. You know the buggy could turn it around.
It's got to be that way.
Face Caden, look at everyone and just smile. Get free entry, every food, drinks. I love it, man.
All right, I've got another question. Whoa, yeah, this is a good one.
I'm really on that journey still, if I'm honest, about ambition, work, and balancing it all.
You know, when baby was born, it definitely changed a lot in terms of like our relationship.
Don't let pride kill you, you know. Don't ever let it kill you. If you need help, say it.
My advice to other fathers is